Ken, before we start, I mean, it's an astonishing body of work. I'm not sure that everyone understands what a production designer does. You know, there's lots of books about directors, and lots of books about writers and actors, and cinematographers as well, but not that much about production designers. In a nutshell, what does it do? What does it do?
Well, in a nutshell, it's not that easy, because production designer really starts after the director, normally, and after reading the script, and he has to create a concept. You know, either the director's calls it his concept, the style, the visual style of the film, and which involves, you know, designing of sets and finding the right locations. He has to set up an art department which, you know, has a lot of assistants, set decorators who dress the sets, a construction department who build the sets, and so he is in charge of that art department, and really is responsible for the look of the film.
So ideally, you get involved at the script stage,
right,
when you're visualizing what the words on the page.
Yeah, you get involved before the director of photography, because A, they're too expensive, so they only employ them about a week before shooting. And the production designers are not that expensive, so we normally employed, depending on the size or the kind of picture, 3 or 4 months, up to 5 months before we start, you know, filming. And so you work very closely with the director. And what I found in the past, that once I got to know the director's concept and so on, I started experimenting, not for the sake of it, but when I felt I could add something, and then came up with a slightly different concept, which I then discussed with the director. And initially it was always a battle, because there are a lot of ego problems involved in filmmaking, and so you had to be somewhat diplomatic too. But looking back at the past in films, I'm not sorry. I sometimes think I was slightly crazy, you know.
Yeah, we're going to deal with something.
You know, in hindsight, I think I was unbelievably courageous at times, you know, to do things like the volcano in Your Native Twice and so on. But also, there must have been a slight element of madness.
The phrase production designer started with Gone with the Wind in 1939,
yeah.
because they got through lots of directors, but what made the film a consistent experience was all the drawings by William Cameron Menzies, yeah. And they had to find the credit for it, because he'd really held the film together.
Yeah, there are many directors. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And so the production designed by that was the first time. And we could... exactly. We could talk this evening about, you know, your career from the late 40s in the industry, where you worked actually for Oliver Messel, whose collection is in the V&A of his designs, or your 50s work as an art director. But I think we should concentrate, because of the Cold War Modern exhibition, really on some of your designs which are featured in the